And I know what you're kind of in here talking about today is who are you going after, and who should people in this audience who are, maybe wanting to start a little freelancing business, or, working with the SMBs, but really all of these opportunities that it seems like you're kind of talking about and shifting towards are more of the mid markets, or, the bigger companies. So
Yeah.
if that question makes sense at all, kind of how do you think about that divide? And also, like, how long did it take you to get there until you could start working with some of these bigger fish? I know you mentioned this was one of your earlier ones, but yeah,
Yeah.
any insights around that point?
Yeah, it's a great question. I actually just shot a YouTube video about this, and the title is something like "Why Mid Markets Are the Best Position to Take Advantage of the AI Era." And I actually don't think it's enterprises, even though we do work with some enterprises. I think mid markets are so prime, more than small SMBs like startups and solos,
Mm-hmm.
because the key really, like, in the pattern across this might be the most important part of this whole thing. The pattern across every single 97% of the projects that we've done is, when you really like break it down fundamentally, what we are doing is we're taking the logic of the business, whether they've written it down or not, but we're taking the logic of the business, the function that they want to automate or whatever, and we're just converting it into an AI system. And so for
Mm-hmm.
a lot of mid markets, especially the e-commerce one, is they had already mapped out what the refund pushback, the customer support team system was supposed to be. They already had the decision trees in place. They had to do that, right? They needed the SOPs because they were hiring an offshore team. And so if you're at the mid market scale, you've had to hire people, right? And you've had to build systems that are repeatable. You've had to write SOPs. You've had to build systems. And
Mm-hmm.
without an existing system in place with like a clear KPI and a clear benchmark, or like a clear, yeah, like a clear benchmark to judge against the performance of an AI system, it's very hard to, like, one, like, define success, and then two, know what you're building is going to is going to be valuable in the end, right? Because you end up in this whole like
Mm-hmm.
scope creep thing where it's like, oh, I thought the idea of like an SEO generator was going to like work, but like it's just costing me money and I don't see the ROI on the other side. And it's like, well, maybe that actually wasn't the high leverage thing to build, right? Like, maybe we should have spent more time figuring out what exactly is it that we can do that we know for a fact has a through line to the P&L. And I think SMBs and solo founders run into that mistake a lot. They end up being like passion project things that don't actually add to the bottom line. And enterprises, uh, ironically, are less systematized than mid markets in a funny way, because they just throw bodies at problems, and yeah, that seems to like work for them. All right, and they're too
Right.
distributed. They can't put together a holistic strategy for things, and but some of them are good. Some of them work.